And good morning to everyone. Good morning. Let's do a little sound check. I'm going to have to make sure that everyone's hearing me. Okay, so good morning. Let's call a little roll. Dog Shack, welcome. Welcome Dog Shack. Welcome Flower Girl DC. Something to say, good morning. Nobody nothing. Where you been? Polygraph, welcome. I saw you over at Steve's yesterday. Maya Sodas, welcome. Danielle, welcome in. Thanks for coming. Carol, welcome in. Ding dong. Your name is still funny, but welcome in. Spicy Cappy, welcome in. Thank you, Spicy. All right, sound is perfect, Danielle. Thank you. Oh, Nancy Drew 101, welcome on in. Welcome on in, YouTube, not snakes. You may hear a little Curious George in the background. Don't worry, it's just my 3-year-old. Oh, thanks, Spicy. Yeah, hopefully we'll talk about a few things, and maybe we'll see some breaking news. Who knows? So what I have pulled up here is the Cornell Law School Information Institute page on suppression of evidence. Yeah, Danielle, hurry up and wait, right? Yeah, some people were up at 2 a.m. Some people were up at 2 a.m. with this, and some people were streaming at 7 a.m. I don't see the point on being all day for no reason. But I think we can come on, we can talk a little about this scenario and then see if any news breaks. Hey, welcome in, Tina Baldwinsita. So I'd like to thank Cornell Law School and the Legal Information Institute for producing this page. We're going to read through it. I remind you this is fair use. I put the disclaimer up front, and today will be all publicly available information from Cornell, Wikipedia, and Twitter. Suppression of evidence. Suppression of evidence is a pretrial proceeding to produce evidence from being shown at trial, which could be lawful or unlawful. So here we are today with the pretrial proceeding. Uh, it's pointing in the direction of Richard Allen taking it to trial, which we already have assumed based on his actions. Um, and so we're carrying forward today as if we're going to trial. Lawful suppression of evidence means the judge rejects the use of evidence in the court. So that's key. Remember, we're looking at the judge's discretion because they think the evidence may be inadmissible to a violation of the Constitution or other statutes that permit the evidence to be excluded. For instance, the evidence is obtained in violation of constitutional rights of a defendant. The suppression request is usually raised by a pretrial motion made by a criminal defendant, which is what we have. The admissibility of evidence is a preliminary question that can only be resolved by the judge, henceforth today. Once the judge believes the evidence should be suppressed, it will not go to trial. The jury, which only assesses the credibility of evidence, usually has nothing to do with the suppression of evidence. Unlike lawful suppression of evidence proposed by a defendant, an unlawful suppression of evidence is made by a prosecutor who improperly or intentionally hides or withholds evidence. Since the Brady Rule requires prosecutors to disclose material evidence possessed by the government, if prosecutors fail to disclose it, the evidence then cannot be used at trial. An unreasonable search or seizure is a violation of the Fourth Amendment. The exclusionary rule is the remedy to an unreasonable search and seizure, which suppresses any evidence seized via such a search. This remedy only applies to criminal trials. Even though the defendant can get evidence excluded, they cannot get a remedy against the government officials who performed unreasonable search or seizure, for the officer has qualified immunity. This rule is to protect government employees executing their working assignments from being personally sued. That would be in civil court by the defendant. For instance, I think I lost my place. Where is it? For instance, evidence sealed pursuant to an unlawful arrest may be suppressed at trial, while a voluntary confession made after that arrest will not automatically be suppressed. But if the confession is too closely tied to the illegal arrest, which may not be truly voluntary, it may be suppressed. There are some exceptions to the exclusionary rule that evidence obtained will not be suppressed. They are good faith exceptions: independent source doctrine, inevitable discovery doctrine, attenuation doctrine, and evidence admissible for impeachment. Any incriminating statement of a suspect obtained as the result of custodial interrogation is inadmissible and should be suppressed in a subsequent trial. However, if the suspect was informed of their Miranda rights, which gives procedural protection to privilege against self-incrimination, but they still made that statement, the statement is admissible, as their rights are waived. That's why you don't talk to the police after you read your rights. If the suspect made two statements, one before the Miranda and the other after, the second confession is admissible unless the circumstances indicate that the substance of Miranda has been drained away. The suppression of incriminating statements is not automatic. Fruit of the poisonous tree confessions include any physical derivative evidence which is obtained as a result of a non-Mirandized confession. They are admissible if the confession is not coerced. That's something that Mr. Freeman and I have talked extensively about, the fruit of poisonous tree. The Sixth Amendment guarantees a criminal defendant the right to effective assistance of counsel unless the defendant knowingly and voluntarily waives that right. It is automatically initiated. The Sixth Amendment also guarantees a criminal defendant the right to a public trial. The right to a public trial extends to suppression hearings. That's why we have the public today. If the counsel fails to submit a motion to suppress evidence, they might be ineffective and incompetent, and the conviction may get overturned. Since a pretrial motion to suppress is a mix of question of fact and law, once appealed, the question of law is reviewed de novo by the judge, while the question of fact is reviewed for clear error. So let's read that one again. That's very important. Since a pretrial motion to suppress, which this is a mix of the question of fact and the question of law, once appealed, the question of law is reviewed de novo by the judge, while the question of fact is reviewed for clear error. Okay? So this is all up to the judge. Remember that first piece. Lawful suppression of evidence means the judge rejects the use of evidence in the court because they think the evidence may be inadmissible due to a violation of the Constitution or other statutes that permit the evidence to be excluded. Okay? So let's move on with that basic framework and take a look at some other things. Okay, now we're going to look at Wikipedia. Suppression of evidence is a term used in the U.S. legal system to describe the lawful or unlawful act of preventing evidence from being shown at trial. Okay, remember this is identically what Cornell says. This could happen for several reasons. For example, if a judge believes the evidence in question was obtained illegally, the judge can rule that it not be shown in court. It could also refer to a prosecutor improperly or intentionally hiding evidence that does not go with their case, and could suggest or prove to the judge or jury that the defendant is not guilty or that he is legally obligated to show the defense. In the latter case, this would be a violation of the Fifth Amendment. Also, Rule 3.8 of the ABA Model Rules of Professional Conduct requires prosecutors to make timely disclosure to the defense. Okay, key, timely disclosure to the defense of all evidence or information that tends to negate. So this is withholding evidence that could negate the guilt of the accused or mitigates the offense. But this is not for all states. This can result in a mistrial in the latter case and the dismissal of the prosecutor. In the U.S., the motion to suppress stems from the exclusionary rule. As the U.S. Supreme Court stated in Simmons versus U.S., in order to effectuate the Fourth Amendment's guarantee of freedom from unreasonable searches and seizures, this court long ago conferred upon defendants in federal prosecutions a right upon motion and proof to have excluded from trial evidence which has been secured by means of an unlawful search or seizure. Okay, so this is preparing to go to Supreme Court. So that in case we do get to Supreme Court, this should drizzle down to the lower courts to avoid an appeal, okay, being successful. When it is grounded in the right to be secure from unreasonable searches and seizures, a person must have standing to move to suppress evidence. In other words, one cannot object to evidence obtained by an illegal search if it was someone else's privacy that was violated. Okay. Now, we're going to switch gears. Okay, I'd like to read for you this thread, which is incredibly good. This is Who's Your Public Defender. He's got a really nice write-up on this. Yesterday, Richard Allen filed his motion in limine re Ballistics. A motion in limine requests the court to prevent the opposing party from referencing evidence that is deemed inadmissible. Can also be used to prevent a party from making improper statements in trial. Court's ruling on a motion in limine is not final. May change ruling depending on evidence presented during trial. Meaning this is not final. This is not final. This could change based upon developments in the trial. From the PC affidavit, police located an unspent round from the scene, along with seizing a firearm from Allen. So this is ballistics, right? The firearm and the round. The state claims this firearm was analyzed by a lab analyst, concluding the unspent round was located ejected. The state claims this gun, right, which was analyzed um, by an expert, concluding the unspent round was located was ejected from Allen's firearm. And you remember in the PCA that they claim that this round has marks of extraction that they feel match Allen's gun. Speculating, but Allen's motion likely addresses this evidence in some form. If so, it will be difficult in preventing the admission of such evidence. In Turner versus State, the Indiana Supreme Court upheld the admission of testimony of a firearm two-mark examiner who testified two marks on an unfired cartridge found in the residence where the defendant was staying. So this is 2011. This precedent was established. Matched tool marks found on 4 discharged casings found at the crime scene, and that the marks were made by the same tool of unknown origin. In other words, despite not locating a firearm, the court upheld the examiner testifying the cartridges were ejected from the same firearm. In this case, police have Allen's firearm. While the lab analyst will certainly be discredited, I believe the analyst's conclusion will be admissible, assuming no other evidentiary issues. Well, I agree with that in some ways. However, I don't feel the prosecution would be too wise to try it because it will be a waste of time with the jury. But they may go ahead and try it to add on to the pile of crap that they're trying to pile onto Allen, so that the jury will be maybe further pushed by it, even if the ballistic piece is not convincing beyond a reasonable doubt to them. All right, so let's keep looking. Looking pretty thin there. He's looking pretty damn thin. This is pretty interesting here what HPD is saying. There's no reason for RA's suppression motion in limine, to remain confidential. No exclusion form was filed. No response from states seeking exclusion. No order issued pursuant to ACR 6. No order sealing records pursuant to Indiana law. Okay, and he's responding to defense diaries who says, made it into the courtroom for the hearing, went to clerk's office hoping they had unsealed the motion. No luck. So this is a very interesting take from HPD. Okay, here we go with the real reason that I chose to review HPD's page. He's got a really nice summary here of some things. Okay, he says, is the search seizure pursuant to a search warrant? Search warrants are presumed valid, burden will be on Allen. Warrantless searches are presumed invalid, burden will be on state. If a search warrant, what is Allen's argument that it is invalid? Okay, so what is the argument about the ballistic evidence and the gun? If the search warrant that if it's a search warrant, what is Allen's argument that good faith exception is inapplicable? If warrantless, what exception does the state contend is applicable? What evidence is Allen seeking to suppress? Probably should give this question higher priority. Any Indiana constitutional argument raised by Allen? So are we arguing his rights were violated, his constitutional rights? Any Indiana constitutional rights argument raised by Allen? Believe it or not, the Indiana Constitution provides greater protection. Right? All right. Yesterday, Richard Allen filed his motion, re Ballistics. A motion in limine requests the court to prevent opposing party from referencing evidence, right? Court's ruling on a motion is not final, may change the ruling depending on the evidence presented. That's what I said from Wikipedia. It's not necessarily final. The baby's a little excited. Well, let's check up with the chat. Welcome in, Jindo. Welcome in, Melon. Something to say? Geraldine, welcome in. Thanks for returning. Captain Underpants, welcome in. Okay, that's about everyone. Yeah, I think Jindo's right. It's a combination of stress um, and the change of intake of substances. So, yeah, he's definitely going through some huge changes. And I think it's mostly the stress. I think there's a whole lot of stress causing him not to eat. And who is this? Who is this sheriff here? Who's this sheriff department here? Who does that look like? Anyone chime in? Who is that? Kind of looks like it, huh? Kind of looks like it. Yeah, he's looking pretty scrawny, guys. Whoa. Welcome in, Jenny. And Delphi, you are new here. You certainly appear to be new here, Delphi. Oh, look at what we have here. She looks ready to take on the day. That don't look too bad. That looks pretty damn good, doesn't it? That's a pretty nice photo. Smile on that face. Wow. Lakeside Justice, welcome in. Welcome in. Be safe with your driving. There's your attorneys. There's Noe. It looks like Noe. That right there looked like Noe and Randy. Okay, Noe and Randy. Maybe. Who's this over here? Let's look at that again. Look like we got some YouTubers at the steps. Is that Noe and Randy? Oh, and we know who that is by the door. We know those clowns by the door. Okay, here we go. Here are the key issues that will be addressed during today's hearing. A trial date will likely be set for some time in the next 6 months, and the trial could start as early as mid-fall. So that means we'll be waiting till the end of the year for a goddamn trial. Motion to suppress ballistics. Update. The judge will not be deciding on the issue during the June 15th hearing. Okay, so we will not be deciding on the ballistics. Well, that's an update, isn't it? All right, so it looks like they're getting the whispers out of the courtroom. And I guess we will not be hearing on this ballistics. Okay, well, that's done. Richard Allen's defense team filed a motion this week to suppress key evidence found at the murder scene. The state's PCA says the Indiana State Police crime lab tested a gun found inside Allen's home, and the test results show that the same gun is linked to an unfired bullet that investigators found between the bodies of the two teenage victims. We all know the story. Allen's attorneys have raised questions about the science used to link the gun to the bullet at the crime scene. Right. The defense and the prosecutor will be able to present evidence. Yeah, but it ain't happening today. Like the update is that the judge will not be deciding. Okay, so we will get a decision later, but maybe she's hearing but will make a decision later. Any decision from Judge Frances Gull will be preliminary, and regardless of her ruling, the admissibility of ballistics evidence can be revisited before during the trial. Well, remember, we read that from both Cornell and Wikipedia. So even her decision regarding this ballistics evidence is not final, necessarily. Okay. Next piece, whether Allen should remain in the prison. Of course he should. The defendant's attorney saying, keeping Allen in segregation at maximum security 90 minutes from Carroll County has put his physical and mental health in extreme jeopardy. Well, he did it. He put his health in jeopardy. They don't want their client, they want their client moved back to the county jail or another secured facility closer. Nope, that's pointless. The judge did not grant that request at an earlier hearing, but she will reconsider. The defense will argue why a maximum security state prison is inappropriate for a defendant with no priors, while the prosecutor will present evidence to support Allen remaining in Westville or a similar facility. In addition to hearing arguments about the defendant's safety, Gull will also consider whether housing Allen in a max security prison is violating due process and his right to a fair trial, based upon a motion for due process filed by the defense. Depending on the amount of discussion and testimony, this aspect of the hearing could take an hour or longer. Okay, and then the third and final, approval of defense expert witnesses, or I think it's one, but let's see. After the public court hearing, the judge will meet privately with lawyers to discuss expert witnesses the defense team wants to hire to prepare for the trial and testify in Allen's defense. The judge has to approve the defendant's expert witnesses because Allen's attorneys and any experts they hire are being paid with public tax dollars. Excuse me. The cost of defense could total hundreds of thousands of dollars. Oh yeah, we're going into the millions with all this shit. All right, that was a nice little summary of today's issues by WTHR, and it looks like they're saying that the decision about the ballistics is not going to come today regardless. Okay, but remember, it's not just about the ballistics. Okay. All right. Mm. Yeah, so looks like the YouTubers are definitely all up in the building. Uh, but, being they live right there, I guess you would expect it, right? I guess you would expect it. Of course, they have their hands all in this case. Okay, this girl says, recess for Richard Allen's hearing. Judge says she will not make a decision on the ballistics evidence. So far, witnesses have taken the stand for the defense on why Allen should be moved. Okay. Okay, interesting. Let's go ahead and take this link. These are just your bullet points of some basics about today. Thank you to WRTV. Okay, so we're at a little recess. Why don't we do this? We'll take a little talk with the chat and then take a little break, and maybe we'll be back in session. I'm sure it's a brief recess. Yeah, it was Noe, 100%. I see you guys in the chat. Yeah, that was Noe. And yeah, I believe it was also Randy. And I also know Holly is there, but she's probably in the courtroom, or may have been busy photographing. We're going to be hearing from Holly and Noe soon. Oh, welcome in, Marbles. What do you got to say, Marbles? And welcome in, Fur Baby Daddy. Fur Baby Daddy made it. And Marbles made it. All right, so we'll see what happens after the break. You say doing his bail hearing after break. Hey, welcome in, Margie. We got a whole bunch of nothing happening with the hearing, but we're keeping track and we're just chit-chatting. All right. What's up, Prof? Been a while. Finally getting to catch a live. Listening while driving around, checking projects. Awesome. Well, it's a nothing day. It's a nothing day. We're barely getting drips out of here, but it looks like we know that there won't be a decision today on the ballistics, so that's good to know. So we won't be sitting on the edge of our seat all day thinking it's going to come down today. And we're just slowly waiting. Look at these guys. Gonna check out a view of our YouTubers once more. Boy, that's rich. That's rich. But notice how far away Noe is. And then we got these guys. Boy, this is rich. This is rich. This is rich. Watch this. Both in the same frame. Oh man, you got this guy and that guy both in the same personal space, man. Look at this. This guy and that guy. That's rich. This guy and that guy. That is rich. Oh man, mind blown. Oh, that's hilarious, Spicy Cappy. I think they're in toxicity order. Oh man, that's just rich. This is also rich. Oh my god, are we eating cheesecake or something? Sure, Margie, I'll do a better job. I have to narrate because some of you are driving, so I'll be okay. I'll be more descriptive, but I'm not going to describe this one. Laura, I love you so much. You are always just the most on point. Yeah, it's like a corruption and amorphous illustration. Yeah, I mean, look at it. It's well, what you have, Margie. Okay, I'll explain it. What you have is a few officers who are escorting Alan into the building, and along with them is one person who you may be familiar with in a sheriff's costume with the hat and all on, and the mustache. You know, the guy, the sheriff's guy, and he's but you got the sheriff with the mustache guy and Alan within 4 feet physical proximity. And boy, that's just a I've never seen a it's a whole that's rich. It's just so rich. You had a whole foyer full of fucketry right there. Look at that foyer full of fuck. Jesus. Geraldine says, I can't believe they found two people as small as him to walk him. Those were some little guys. Oh, you like that foyer joke? I have not heard one peep yet about the Delphi task force being there. Not one word yet. Got you covered with the horn. Got you covered. That's very interesting, Geraldine. So you're alleging that this is intentional for optics. So they wanted small guys escorting Allen, so he doesn't look as small as he would, as if he was a. If there were large, really large guys escorting him, he would look even more deteriorated. So maybe for optics purposes, they put the two smallest guys, so he at least looks their size. Yeah, they do look on the smaller side. Yeah, because if he's refusing to eat, it's you almost got to feel bad that they can't even do anything about it. Whether they're going to force feed him with a tube or something. Yeah, I know he's had some humongous guys before. Yeah, notice these guys. You can see it clearly here. Watch. These are little guys. The two escorting him. I mean, this little guy right here is smaller than me. The little guy, the little white guy with the glasses. Yeah, that my guy might weigh 120 pounds at most. Okay, and then this guy is a little larger. He'd be about 160 maybe, but he's still got to be maybe like 5'6". Tiny little guys. Yeah, it looks a lot better than it would be if it was some linebacker type of looking dudes. Now, this could be totally rumor, but look at this post here. What in the hell? I am at Carroll County Courthouse in Delphi, attending a hearing on RA. It's been revealed that RA admitted to his crime while he's been incarcerated at Westfield. What? Is this clickbait? Is JLR doing some clickbait bullshit? What is this? So he says, I'm at the Carroll County Courthouse attending the hearing. It's been revealed that RA admitted to his crime while he's been incarcerated. I don't know. I don't know, dude. We'll see. We'll get an update on that. We're not gonna take anyone's word for that. That sounds like some sensationalism. But it's possible. It is possible. I mean, allegedly, Klein did the same thing, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, our amazing Laura says here, according to Shay's short, are a lawyer trying to get a confessions to correction officers thrown out. Ah, so did he talk? He get too comfy and talk to the few individuals he came across, which were a couple of the corrections officers. He got a little relationship and blabbed his mouth. Wow. Regina Norwood says others have given the same info. Boy. So you know what's funny? Wow. It's that's amazing because it makes you think here. I was saying from the very beginning that I bet he talked before he lawyered up because he seems like a really shocked and nervous, and I think that and afraid. And I think that when he's first arrested, he might not have realized the gravity of the situation that was going to be thrust upon him. And I feel he may have talked initially with the detectives in attempting to feign cooperation. Um, but wow, this is disturbing. I mean, if he's over there talking with the correctional officers and we know everything is recorded. And remember, there's subpoenas for Westville to get all of the recordings, all of the documentation, all of the phone calls. So we may have recordings of some of this or some other documentation in the form of written reports by the correctional officers. But no, there's no way you're going to throw that out. I mean, because he's not having mental problems. He's not eating because he's stressed as fuck because he was involved in this, allegedly. Very interesting development right here. I mean, really? You guys don't think this is incredibly interesting? So he's admitted to his crimes to COs? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Jendo. What was the confession? That he played a role? That all he did was XYZ? You know, hey man, look, I didn't kill the girls. All I did was blah blah blah. Something along those lines? Well, very good point here. The meth makers don't like being lumped in with the unalivers, and the CSAMers don't like being lumped in with the unalivers or the meth dealers. So, yeah, they're all chatty Cathys. Welcome in, Carrie. Welcome in. Okay. Welcome in, Jacqueline. Welcome in, GP. You guys are flowing in. Yeah, we there's some updates. I mean, we know that Judge Gull will not decide on the ballistics evidence today. We may hear an order issued at a later time, but no decision on the ballistics evidence today. No decision on. I mean, we're hearing rumors that there's some allegations of potential admissions to correctional officers of his role in the crimes in some way. So we're going to hear more on that. I mean, especially when Noe and Holly come out, you know they're going to be talking, and of course, you know some of the other YouTubers are going to maximize, uh, drain it for every drop it's worth. So we'll get more at later today on. But that's the most breaking thing that I've heard. I mean, that's major. If we got correction officers now that he's admitted things to, and it stands, uh, wow. Yeah, Jen, I know, but people do. I mean, if you got to think, if he's in a solitary for 23 hours a day, he only sees one or two correctional officers, on a rotating basis or whatever. He develops, I mean, that's his only human contact whatsoever for all of this time. He could develop a human relationship with these officers and get comfortable, and maybe then you kind of talk a little because that's your only human contact. Welcome in, nobody. Who's here? We're going to take a little 15-minute break in a minute, but you can go back and watch the first portion. We just covered some terminology and whatnot. But thank you for jumping in. We are looking at the old Twitter verse. Okay, let's catch up with the chat because there's no news breaking. So we're going to go back and catch up with the chat for the moment. Okay, let's see. Jen Doe says, I wholeheartedly agree. Sounds like RA implicated himself voluntarily. Yeah, I mean, I'm just talking about the human relationships. You're not understanding that if he's in a max security, he's only seeing another human being 30 minutes or an hour a day, whatever it is, and probably only a select number of them, just a few. And these few are making written reports, and he starts to just on a human level connect with one of them or two of them, and and chit chat here and there, and eventually chit chats about his nature of his involvement from his perspective. Uh, that would be major because you know what they would do is immediately go write do a written report of what he said, so it would be very accurate. It may even be recorded. You know, they could have recorders going. So I think it's major. I mean, to me, this is the most mind blowing thing I've heard so far on his part. That potentially now he's talked to these CEOs. Okay. Breaking. In court today, RA appears to have made incriminating statements connecting him to the murders of these two girls. Prosecutor said he made an admission. Defense team says these admissions can't be trusted due to Allen's mental state. Yeah, right. Good lawyers. Wow. The state will be calling two witnesses after lunch. One or both of the witnesses will be testifying to admissions of guilt. Oh my goodness. So they're going to call the correctional officers, the one or two he's spoken with? This could be absolutely shocking. Wow. Oh my goodness. I got to call Noe right now. Like, you guys got to give me a break. I'm calling Noe and a Holly. I'm calling them right now. Hold on. Hey, Noe, can you speak up?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, let's see if everyone let me know if you can hear Noe. Say something, Noe.
I'm here at the Delphi or at the Carroll County Court. I'm in the front lawn for lunch break. We're going back in at 1:30.
Okay, let's see if everyone heard that. Put in the chat if you heard that, please. Okay, they can hear you. So Noe, we are hearing word that that something has developed where there's two correctional officers that he may have admitted his part in the murders to. Uh,
Yes,
can you talk
yes.
about that? What you heard?
Yeah, what I heard was that uh, Rosie, the attorney, the defense attorney, uh, is wanting those statements to be retracted and completely omitted because of the condition of Richard Allen. And he believes that that conversation or comments he made are not accurate to what he has said in the past.
Right. And let me ask you this: what did the prosecution say about it when they brought it up?
I would have to look at my notes. I cannot tell you right now because it was a long. The what do you call the cross interrogations have been lengthy, right? Each attorney gets up and spends like 10, 20 minutes, and then it goes to the other side. So I don't remember at this time exactly what the prosecutor had to say about that.
Well, did they mention that there were one or two correctional officers, or did they say anything like that? Like how many and maybe.
Well, they have interviewed or put on the witness stand at least one correctional officer by the name of Lewis, C.O. Lewis, and but he was talking more about his housing condition at Westview. I mean Westview, or no, Westville. Yeah, Westville Correctional Facility. He was talking more about how they move him around the halls or to the visiting rooms with his attorneys and that type of information. He did not disclose anything about his confession.
Okay, well now it's being alleged on Twitter that that they will have maybe one or two correctional officers get on the stand after the break and address this. And I would think that's the one or two he might have talked to.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be mind blowing, dude.
Yeah, I'll be here. I'm staying for the whole length of the uh, hearing, and I mean I have done my sketches, so I'm taking notes now. So I will hope to, you know, get a little more on that.
Awesome. Well, let me let you say bye to everyone, and but don't hang up. I'm just gonna talk to you privately.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Noe.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, Noe is going back in. Uh, Apologize for that. I had to say goodbye, but he's going back in now. Uh, I told him to pay extra close attention to the correctional officers and what they are going to say about Alan's admissions. So he'll give us a call when he gets out of there. That's what I'm saying. Something to say. I'm trying to. I told him to please listen closely to what they say regarding what he said to them, and that sort of thing. It's definitely mind blowing. I mean, to know that within a few hours we may have some kind of word about some of his admissions. Weird. I didn't expect that. Welcome in, Bonnie. Yeah, I agree with this. Who knows? Yeah, this is incredible because you don't get nervous and somewhat withdrawn from alcohol and say that you had a part in the murder of two baby girls. I mean, because it just doesn't happen. So that's a total defense bullshit posturing. But I will be paying extremely close attention, and if I were you, I would be listening for exactly what these COs are going to say on the stand, and any indication we can get of the nature of these alleged incriminating statements he made to them. Okay, everyone's going back into court now, allegedly. I agree totally. Even just the confirmation that he incriminated himself is a huge step. Huge. Yeah, something exciting may indeed happen shortly once these COs get on the stand. I mean, we may have some mind-blowing revelations, but maybe not. But it's exciting right this moment. Hello, Ruby Red. From personal experience, when they dry out is when the truth spills. Well, he's dried out completely. Yeah. Oops, sorry about that. Everyone pray for this. I would assume that what they would have done is every single interaction with him, a report would have been made. So they go and they do their little interaction and they go and write a report on a daily log. So I would assume if he said anything, it's written down very accurately, very accurately, because it would have been immediately done, I would assume, especially something of that nature. So I think we might be able to hear something, but good thing we have people sitting in there. Uh, Yeah, it could there could be film or there could be audio recordings, you know. Yep. Yeah, he's as straight as he's ever gonna get. Yeah, that's right. He's totally dried out. Allen's attorney said he made incriminating statements leaking him to the Delphi murders. The prosecutor agreed, saying he made an admission. So look at these two terms, incriminating statements and an admission. However, Allen's attorney said that the incriminating statements couldn't be trusted because of his current mental state. Bullshit. An intern for Allen's attorney, who has been working the case, testified to the conditions of the facility. Yeah, prison sucks. Stating that it's not easy for them to get access to their client and he looks and sounds awful. Yeah, of course he does. Cass County Sheriff said he has the capability of holding Allen but doesn't want to. Okay. A captain from Westville facility talked about how the facility houses their inmates and explained some of the questions on the defense. Okay. Okay, so she's going to give update. That's Caitlin Kendall. Nice name. Okay. Yeah, I think we got some fireworks today, folks. I think we're getting some fireworks. I told you, allegedly, he was there with a firearm and was paid to be there, in my opinion. Yeah, this news is making my day. Goddamn right. And you are correct. Maybe his deteriorated state is because he knows he talked too much. So he knows he's fooked no matter what. Yeah, wow, wow, wow. Yep, and exactly nobody. No wonder they put out this crazy photo with the slobber, you know, this one here. No wonder they put that out because they want him moved. It's preemptive and calculated. Of course, it's called attorneys being really effective. Um, and they're whining about the facility. Yeah, they want us to feel sorry for poor little Ricky. It ain't gonna happen, okay? Okay, Ricky? Here's a problem. You made mistakes, Rick. You made mistakes. It ain't gonna happen. Don't feel sorry for you. Hey, Aaron, we got major news. Major. It appears that Allen may have spoken with a couple correctional officers in the facility and made some admissions or incriminating statements about his role in the Delphi murders. So I think he made another couple huge mistakes. And so possibly when this session resumes, we're going to have one or two of them uh, may take the stand, but I'm not guaranteeing that. But it's major, in my opinion. Yeah, of course, of course. He is aware of what he said, and he was aware of what he was saying. He just regrets it now. Okay, he regrets it now, and he's gonna say, I'm crazy now. I'm crazy. I didn't really mean that I took part in the killings of these girls." He's gonna say, "I admitted that I was there, and blah blah blah, but that someone else killed them." Oh no, I didn't say that. I didn't really say that because that's normally what people do is they put themselves in the middle of a murder of two baby girls. That's what people do when they don't feel well. So we're gonna I told Noe to listen to every single detail of what these guys say about what Richard was saying. So let's just let's just cross our fingers. No, we don't know yet. He could have said, "Hey, it was someone else, and I was just there with the gun, and someone else took them from me and did the thing." But we don't know what he said yet. But boy, 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 I think it's fireworks, and I hope that they bring these one or two COs on, and that we get some excitement. Okay. Welcome in, Lee. Yeah, I agree. You're totally right. Totally spot on, Lee. Okay, Jennifer here says people don't typically admit to crimes they don't commit. Exactly. But what were the words, right? What were the words? Prosecution seems confident. If their confidence is based on an admission, this would explain why Richard Allen appears to have made incriminating statements connecting him to the murders of Liberty German and Abby Williams. Prosecutor said he made an admission. Defense team says these admissions can't be trusted due to his mental state. Okay. But you don't admit to crimes you didn't commit. Okay. Okay. There's a way you do it if you're trying to get out of prison. If you're trying to get out of a thing you're in, you might try to negotiate something. But no, you don't accidentally admit to the COs in some side ass conversations that you had some part to play in these murders, but you weren't the bad guy. I think that's what we're going to hear. So let's see if we hear anything. Okay. Like I said, this post here, the state will be calling 2 witnesses after lunch. One or both witnesses will be testifying to admissions of guilt allegedly made by Allen while being detained. It could be shocking. So this person is believing that at least one of the witnesses will be addressing these admissions of guilt. And we got people in the courtroom. And obviously others have people. There are public witnesses. So we are about to get some bombs dropped, in my opinion. Oh, of course, French. This is what Doug Carter has been saying. For your soul, like it's not just about the legal thing in life. It's for your deathbed. It's like get it off of you now. Unload all that, and live the rest of your life, and deal with the consequences of your actions. Hope the confession doesn't get thrown out, says Jindo. It puts Ari in a position where he could go down for this alone. That could be the motivation to cooperate. Yeah, you never know. He might have intentionally done it, right? He might have said, hey, if I whisper some names to these COs and they go run and tell that, uh, maybe it will be exposed that I'm not the lone wolf. You know, we don't know the nature of why he made these statements or what the statements are yet. But man, I'm gonna try to see. Let's just try to see what these 2 witnesses are gonna take the stand and say. Oh yeah, everyone, while we're waiting, please hit the like while we are waiting. Please hit like. We've got twice as many viewers as likes. Please hit the like. Okay, Defense Diary says just walked out of the courtroom. Observations. RA has lost at least 40 pounds and looks completely incoherent. It's all an act. I've seen this look before with a client of mine. He looks tranquilized. Yeah, well, he's also been in solitary for a while. Wow, this is kind of interesting here. Look at I don't even want to read this. This is disturbing. I mean, is this prosecution trying to let Alan walk? Are they trying to let Alan walk? That's literally the tiniest cop I've ever seen. Like, have you ever seen an officer that fucking small? This is a different angle. Let's look at it. That little officer looks like a little 14-year-old boy. Like, oh man. Interesting view right here. It could be a woman. Looks like a little young guy, but I don't know. Okay, let's look at this statement. Nobody says, I think that may be associated, but I believe this revolves around meth. Yeah, in my opinion, especially at CVS. Uh, what was he doing at CVS? We shall see. It's all starting to play out. Answer soon, I believe. It's looking like some things are going to be trickling and rising to the surface. It's the time for that. It's the season for these truths to be rising to the surface. Lee Cordell says, fact is, statements made for reasons unknown, but can hypothesize why. Instructed by good defense? Maybe. A big oops? Maybe. Guilty? Definitely. Or just a few reasons any statement could have been made. And any combination of the above, Lee, I agree. Uh, I mean, the fact that we may get some word from one or two of these correctional officers that he admitted things to, it could be mind blowing today, and it could be a nothing burger. But I'm feeling more excited than I was when I woke up this morning because I was feeling like it's going to be another big letdown. But this is unexpected. I mean, I had heard nothing. Who here, if you heard anything of the sort, put it in the chat. But I bet you not one will put in the chat because I had not heard anything of the sort. This is totally new information. Like, no one has alleged that he was confessing in there to other inmates or correctional officers. Something to say, you're just bringing that comedy. You're bringing that comedy. You're going to get the whoop whoop for it. You're going to get the whoop whoop. Something to say dropping these comedy bombs. Yeah, I haven't heard one freaking word about anything of the sort. It's mind blowing today. Put that in the chat. Put the blown minds in the chat. I'm gonna do it. That's about the only thing mind blowing for a while. Um, totally mind blown. Going in the chat. Exactly, Delphi. I mean, Destiny Swing. Destiny. I've been saying this that you can tell he's a frightened little puppy. Okay? Yeah, that's why they picked him. He's the lowest, weakest link. He's the little frightened puppy, and he's in way over his head. He's not like some of these others. I'm sure he talked at some point. That's a nice way to do it, nobody. I've never seen that before. Yeah, he's no mastermind. I mean, dude, these people on YouTube saying he's the lone wolf and analyzing every single aspect. It's like, dude, do you even know what the fuck you're talking about? Richard Allen's not a lone wolf type of guy. He's not a criminal mastermind. I totally agree for Baby Daddy. I think when he was arrested and it was announced, a lot of butts puckered. And I think after this revelation today, the butts are puckering like a motherfucker. Yeah, Frenchie Rick was there, allegedly, and did not do it. Okay? He was paid to do a job which did not involve any crime. Uh, but he's caught up. He's caught up in this tragedy, and he's a scared little puppy. And hopefully he said what he had to say and told all. That's your puppet. Yeah, that's one of your puppets. That's one of your little gophers, I call him. Papa Smurf, gopher, he's a puppet. He's basically a Muppet. Yeah, something. I regretted it as soon as I said it. Yeah, he was probably committing a little petty crime. Uh, revolving to some sort of drug scenario, but he wasn't there to hurt anybody or take any kids. I think he got caught up. He got caught up in this shit, and he's in so far over his head. I think he would have immediately talked to detectives because he he would have been frightened, and he knows that he didn't do all that damage, so he probably would have tried to talk his way out of it at first. Then it wasn't successful. Then he got hemmed up, and then he got lawyered up. Then he shut his mouth. Yeah, the crime he signed up for wasn't uh, the crime he ended up being a part of. Exactly. He signed up for a little petty crime, allegedly. And he's now in the middle of a fucking uh, typhoon. Yeah, he's oh man. Hey Jojo, welcome in. Where you been? Jojo been hiding out in these YouTube streets. Hi, Michelle dipping in too. What's up, Michelle? We are anxiously awaiting some word about the correctional officers who may testify in regards to admissions made by Alan. So we'll figure out, i.e., incriminating statements. I guess we can go back over some of this from Caitlin. Okay, former Carroll County Sheriff was the first witness to the stand, of course. He testified they can't house Allen in their jail. Of course they can't. He said they don't have the staff or the capability. Of course they don't. He said Allen was there, he would have to be in general population, he'd get killed. Lesenby was questioned by the defense about his decision to put Allen in Westfield, after stating he never went to the facility to check it out. He said he made the decision to transfer Allen out of fear for his safety, of course. He said there were no threats. When discussing Allen's state at Westville, prosecution said he made an admission. His attorney said he made incriminating statements. So let's do this. Read it again. When discussing Allen's state at the Westville facility, the prosecution stated he made an admission. That's singular, right? His attorney said he made incriminating statements. That's plural. That was just briefly mentioned. We will hear more on that after we reconvene, which is happening now. Allen's attorney said he made incriminating statements linking him to the Delphi murders. The prosecutor agreed, saying that he made an admission. Okay. Very interesting. So it doesn't sound like much, right? It sounds like a little bit. But he said a little something that was admissive or incriminating. Interesting. All right. The state will be calling 2 witnesses after lunch. One or both witnesses will be testifying to admissions of guilt allegedly made while being detained. Could be shocking. Yes, it could. All right. Yeah, no one ever thought this would go worldwide. They thought it would just go away. They still want it to go away. Yes, everyone, please hit the like if you haven't. Uh, Hit that like. Laura says a smoke in a shack. Wow, man. It's like uh it's like waiting for Christmas over here. Like waiting for Christmas. All right. All right. Let's see. Lakeside is doing some wishful thinking here. Hopefully, Ricky jumps up and says, "Here's what happens," and spills his guts. Yeah, we're waiting for Christmas over here. Aaron Town says it is absolutely impossible that a correctional officer at Westville could be aligned with the tentacle, right? No. There's so many damn tentacles in this case. We don't know what the hell's going on. But I tell you what, little Ricky boy went ahead and run his mouth too much to these other COs, the other only humans he was having any contact with whatsoever, just 30 minutes a day or whatever. He went ahead, get a little too comfortable, and say some things to them he shouldn't. Uh, he's going to be either further entrapped. I just am so anxious to hear or get any indication whatsoever of the nature of these statements he made to them. Hey, nobody. What do you mean about background music? I didn't hear any. Did I miss something? Nobody. My question is, did I play a clip with music? I didn't hear music. Did I accidentally play something with music? Did you hear music come out of my channel? Laura, under which video was it? Um, I'm wondering if I clicked on a video that had music, even though my sound was supposed to be off. But oh man. Okay, I'll have to go back. We'll lose the whole chat because I'm going to have to go back and remove that, which means the whole chat will disappear on the replay. You know what? Jeez, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. So what it makes me want to do is just kill this stream and start a new one. That's what it makes me want to do. Makes me want to kill the stream and start a new one. What up, Tech Death Hippie? I'm a little upset at the moment. Because that's somebody had to put music behind a stupid ass drone video, and I did not hear it coming through. Okay, because it was so low. So I have to shut the whole shit down. Okay, I've made my decision. I'm going to leave it up. Here's why. It was super low, it was super short. I was talking over it, and there's also noise from the drone and the air. I think it's okay. I'd like to remind everyone that we are watching Twitter. This is fair use under the fair use guidelines. We are watching Twitter. Uh, it sounded like that music was just on a radio in the background and not a part of the soundtrack of that video. So that little clip of music was actually so low because it was background noise on that particular video. And so, you know, uh, I think it's okay. All right, well, You guys are ready for a break? Ready for a little 15-minute break or something? Come back in a minute once we get some more news flowing. I mean, that is a startled look if I've ever seen one. Do you notice him actually jump? Oh, yeah, he looks like he wants to kill her. Look, he looks like he wants to kill her. Then he smiles it off. Watch. Okay. That's the look of fear. Then it goes to anger. That's the anger. Then it goes to smile. 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 Anger. Fear. And he jumps. Watch the jump. Crazy. Like I said, I think he's been nervous since day one. He's been waiting to get caught. No sleep. No sleep at night. All right, look, so we're at a standstill. I think we should take a little break, say about a 15-minute, 10-15 minute break. All right, so I'll take a little 15-minute break now. And that'll give us time to get some more news out of Twitter. All right. Okay, I believe we are back. Thank you for the 15-minute break. I kept my word and glad you are still here. Um, Please hit the like if you are here and haven't. We're going to read through this article now. Um, all right, so, excuse me. Defense attorneys and prosecutors made arguments in court Thursday about statements previously made by Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen. Allen faces 2 counts in the February 2017 deaths of the girls. Allen appeared in court Thursday in a yellow jumpsuit. During the hearing, defense attorneys indicated that Allen had made self-incriminating statements linking him to the girls' deaths. Prosecutor agreed Allen had made admissions. However, Allen's attorneys argued the statements couldn't be trusted because of their client's mental state. They want him moved out of Westville Correctional Facility to a county jail for his mental health and well-being. Yep, not going to happen. His defense team suggested Allen has made inconsistent statements since his arrest, because he's lying, and attributed them to the stress of his captivity and his increasing difficulty in communicating with his attorneys. Prosecutors argued that Allen's treatment is humane. Allen's statements, which he previously made and were revealed for the first time in public, dominated Thursday's hearing. Proceedings started at 10 a.m. and I will skip that. Gull was expected to hear from defense attorneys and prosecutors regarding several motions. Allen's defense team had filed a motion to suppress certain evidence from the ballistics, is what it was. The PCA, unsealed in November 2022, indicated that investigators found an unspent round near the girls' bodies. A forensic expert determined the bullet had been ejected from Allen's Sig Sauer P226 40 caliber. Allen's attorneys are challenging that evidence, but Gull pushed back a hearing on that specific aspect to a later date. The judge also indicated that several documents related to the case that have been kept under seal would be made available. So we're going to get some documents. um, okay, one moment, please. Okay, so at this time, there's no updates. I have several people texting. I'm watching Twitter. I'm watching Discord. Yeah, we got no updates. So things are probably happening in the courtroom, and everyone's locked in there, so to speak, without their devices, unable to use them. So we'll have to wait till someone sneaks to the bathroom, which people have been doing. Yeah, isn't that interesting about the evidence being unsealed or the documents being unsealed? So that'll be exciting when that happens. Welcome in, Christy RN. You're a little late, but now it's all at a lull. But we got some exciting news, and so we're waiting for updates. But welcome on in. Well, Jindo, we're about to find out, possibly. That's what we're anxiously awaiting, because the feeling is that at least one of these correctional officers are going to take the stand, possibly may be there right now. And we may get more details on that. So I'm excited about that too, Jen. Christy says, as I believe Ari is involved somehow, I'm curious if Ellie also tested other Sig Sauer guns confiscated like the Weber guy's gun. Yeah, they did. And rumor was it was returned after 6 months. Would they have different markings on every gun? That's where I tend to disagree because I think if the gun models are identical, I think it would be very difficult to determine extraction markings. Now if those bullets are fired, that's another thing. But if they are just extracted, uh, I don't see convincing a jury about extraction marks if there are two guns at play or more. Because there's also a rumor that old Ron Logan may have had a similar model, but I haven't confirmed that yet. But it is a rumor. So we know we at least have two 6 hour model. I mean, two 6 hour 40 caliber, and according to Julie Melvin, we also had spent 40 caliber casings. So I think the whole ballistics thing is a bunch of BS, but we'll find out. Yeah, Noe's gonna call. He said he'll call as soon as he gets out of there. Welcome in, Jaded Empath. Welcome on in. Nobody agrees with the ballistic BS. Okay. Who else around town owns one of those? I know a lot, a bunch, I bet. You know, wonder how many were tested. Thank you, Christy. I know. I get that. I get that feeling that you're on the same page with the ballistics. I mean, the fact that that Weber had the same model, same caliber as Richard automatically, it's a huge red flag. The fact that Julie Melvin says detectives from Indianapolis told her that they found a bunch of spent 40 caliber shell casings, huge red flag. So now that whole batch of evidence, you're going to have spent casings, you're going to have this alleged unfired round, got two 6 hour 40 calibers. It's not looking good. And I think that shit's totally out the window. As you see, there's absolutely no news coming out. It's a dry spell. So, I mean, we may have to end the stream and just come back on in an hour or two. May have to give it like a couple hours, come back on at the later part of the day after we get some phone calls from some people and some updates from people. Because it's been it's been basically over an hour or two. It's been over an hour or two. No news. Welcome in, Colette Henson. Welcome in, Colette. Good to see you. All right, nobody. Yeah, I'd love to be in that courtroom. Me too, but actually not. I don't want to be in that cesspool. All right, guys, here's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling I'm ready to get the hell off of this shit because we're not getting any updates. We're just sitting here, and maybe we can end it soon. And once some news comes out, we can gather again, talk about it some more. But I don't see the point in sitting here for another 2 to 3 hours for no reason. Uh, it's really slow. It's a trickle, and it's been over an hour or two since a trickle. So I think it's time. But before we get out of here, anything else you want to talk about? Drop in the chat. Anybody else? Anything? Anybody got anything else to say? Uh, we'll get out of here in 5, 10 minutes. How about that? Get out of here in about 5 minutes. And we'll jump back on later today once the news breaks. But 5, 10 minutes. Don't rush out. If you got anything else, I'll hang around for 5, 10 more minutes, and then we'll meet later today. Oh, I'm talking to Holly, but I'm not necessarily going to ask her to come on. I don't know if she'll come on or not. I'm more interested in what they have to say, but honestly, Holly's not there. Holly is not there, but Noe is. So we're going to get the updates from Noe, and I'll speak to Holly privately. You know what? It's not. It's actually not that awesome, Maya Sodas, because Holly should be there, but unfortunately, they've got her feeling in a way that she didn't want to go. So she wanted to go, but she didn't want to. So I'm a little frustrated about that, but I know you get what I'm saying. Okay, well, the quick recap. Let's see, the quick recap. Welcome in, Stephen. The quick recap is that the ballistic evidence will not be heard or decided today. That'll be at a later date. It's been postponed. Uh, the biggest news is that there are allegations um, that Allen has made incriminating statements um, to correctional officers, possibly 1 to 2. So he made incriminating admissions and statements to a couple of the correctional officers. Allegedly, right now, they're supposed to be taking the stand, at least one of them, regarding these incriminating statements. And that's the news that's blowing everyone's mind right now, that he possibly has talked about his and made admissions about his role in the Delphi murders. So the allegations or the understanding is that both prosecution and defense have concurred that he made incriminating statements i.e., admissions about his role in the Delphi murders, to correctional officers. So we're going to hopefully get some idea of the nature of those, but possibly not. I don't know, but we're anxiously awaiting that news. Oh yeah, I'm glad Noe was there, but he'll call us back. Yeah, I think it's a good judge for the case. She looked mighty happy this morning. I don't know, that look was pretty nice on her face. Yeah, it's huge news, Stephen, that he made admissions of his role in the Delphi murders to correctional officers. Now, here's the thing, the defense is trying to get it thrown out because the defense is saying, due to his mental state and inconsistent statements he's made, that those statements to the correctional officers cannot be considered reliable. But I think that's garbage. I think the judge is going to say, what are the statements? I think the nature of the statements like this. If the correctional officers immediately went and made a report regarding these statements, that'll be all documented. It'll be hard facts on paper. I think the judge would be likely to accept them in. But the other aspect of that is that that's subject to change as well. But I'm highly confident that the correctional officers would have made written reports immediately after receiving these statements, and the judge is going to look fondly upon those, I believe, because it is a paper trail. Yes, and there will be some unsealing of documents. That's another update. There will be documents unsealed and posted on a website later. So that will be forthcoming as well. So a lot of shit is coming to the surface. And I also said earlier, Christy, that some of these statements may actually be on either audio or video recording. You know, they could have an audio recording for security purposes, either right near the cell, outside of the cell, inside the cell, who knows? But there could be recordings, but at least there's going to be written documentation because I'm pretty sure any contact is documented in a written format due to the nature of this inmate. Hey, Jojo, no, nothing. There's been absolutely nothing whatsoever for an hour or two. So I just said what we're going to do now is take a break, and we'll probably take an hour or two break. Who knows? But what I'll do now, we'll wind it down, and I'll shut it on down, and we'll wait for some developments and then come back because, yeah, it's been 2 hours since an update. Okay, there are other things, but okay, you see here these two updates. Judge will be unsealing many of the filed pleadings in the next week. There will be a dedicated website to retrieve the documents. Okay, and HPD says, my opinion, it's genuine. Serving time in DOC Westville of all places isn't easy. We'll give Alan the benefit of any doubt. Well, I think he's just stressed to hell and he's not eating. Yeah, you haven't missed a single thing, Jojo. Okay, Stephen says, hopefully the judge allows the statements to be used. That's what I'm saying because I think they're going to be documented, which will be highly uh, influential upon the judge's decision. If these are hearsay statements and that there was no documentation ever made, the judge is going to say like, what? But if these COs did their due diligence and documented all of this properly, there'll be it'll be legitimately documented, or if it's on video or audio, and I think it will be allowed. And Stephen says this and the unsealing will be pretty big. Yes, indeed. It may provide, yes, it will. And like I said, allegedly, Alan was involved. So we're getting some things rise to the surface. So yeah, we'll have an exciting time this next week or two. And then Klein will be then Klein will be up next, you know. Did they really have to feed him through IV? It's gone to that. Yeah, well, he's stressed out of his mind. He's not eating because he knows he's in way over his head, in my opinion. Well, I think over the course of the summer, we're going to start to get some facts surface, which won't be answers, but they'll point us in the direction of where the correct answers may lie. And I bet you it's going to point us in the direction of a group of people, not a lone wolf. That's all I got to say. I'm not beating up anyone, but I am saying no lone wolf. This is a group of people. And I'm hoping that these little factoids that surface point us in the direction of whether we're dealing with a lone wolf or a group of people. But I'm pretty positive it's a group of people. Yes, indeed, we need him alive, and we need Klein alive. Yes, indeed. And we need Klein to diet, and we need Richard Allen to bulk up. Well, Jojo, see, we don't necessarily agree completely, but you could be right. Okay, you could be right. Um, but I don't know about the planning either. So in both of those, we sort of don't all agree. I mean, but it could be planned and targeted, could be not planned and not targeted. But I believe no matter what we're looking at is a highly planned and coordinated cover up after the fact. I think one thing I can say definitively is I'm certain we're looking at a highly coordinated and executed cover up that ensued after these murders. Aaron, that is genius, actually. Yeah, Klein and Allen should just switch spots, like literally switch cells or whatever. Clean out Klein's, put Allen in it. Clean out Allen's, put Klein in it. Yeah, exactly. Let's fix these guys up so they live. And by the way, putting them in a county jail is not how they live. That's how they get killed. The last place they need to be is in a county jail. Yep. Something to say, exactly. I mean, they just switch them up. God damn it. Maya Soda's bringing the jokes. Uh-oh, you get it. You get it for this one. That is an awesome joke. Jailhouse wife swap. And I think we're going out on that one, dude. We are going out. We need the old Delphi jailhouse wife swap. Hell no, he would not be safe in Carroll County. Come on. These attorneys are absolutely smoking crack, delusional. You think you want to put Allen in that Carroll County? Yeah, you get the joke of the day. You get the joke of the day. Well, look here. Let's go out with a shack attack. Everyone, hit the shack attack. I'm going to hit the air horn and celebrating Maya Sotis' awesome, funny joke. And hit the shack attack, and we'll be the hell out of here. All right? Hit that damn shack attack. Oh, snap. We got some updates. Hold on before we get off. Okay, let's look at this one. A trial date has been set for Richard Allen for January 8 to 26, 2024. January fucking 2024. That is not August. Okay. So, January 2024. Unbelievable. All right, so we're out of here. We'll be back later if some news comes and if Noe calls back and all the blah, blah, blah. Okay, so set your notifications to all. We'll come back as soon as something good comes over to the surface. So see you guys later. Thank you and enjoy the music on the way out. Please hit the like on the way out. I forgot to say it. But yeah, January, look at the screen, January 8 to 26, 2024. All right, so hit that like on the way out and we'll see you later. Oh, is this true, Laura? Wow. Yeah, because they don't want to. They're not going to want to release the details because that's going to be crucial to the prosecution. So we're not going to get any details. But I was wondering, but 5 or 6 confessions. Where'd you get that, Laura? I haven't seen that yet. Don't say if it's a YouTube creator that does nothing but bash. Just ignore. Ignore my question. Oh, did I miss that post? Let's see it, because that's an attorney, okay? We know who this is. Okay, let's see where it is. The bombshell testimony regarding Allen's alleged confessions to committing crimes were a huge dud. Let's do the dud sound, right? The dud sound. Oh gosh. State had the warden of the prison on the stand and referenced five or six, not one or two, five or six confessions. Upon completion of the question to the warden, Attorney Ritzy asked for a sidebar. They approached the bench, and the subject was never brought up again. So infer what you will. It was very disappointing. Yeah, but it's not, because five or six is huge. Okay, the warden. So the warden's letting you know from everyone, because that's a supervisor, right? So he's saying that we got five or six. Remember, the other terminology used was admissions of his part in the Delphi murders, and the other was incriminating statements. And defense diaries is saying confessions. So basically, he talked five or six times. Probably it's all documented on paper. Huge. So I don't think it's a dud at all. I think this is fireworks. Matter of fact, you guys should be putting fireworks in the damn chat. Let me see if I can get some firework emojis whooped up. It's fireworks, man. I cannot believe the five or six. What a reason to celebrate. Okay, what a reason to celebrate. We got five or six incriminating statements, admissions about the Delphi murders. Dude, we got it. That is huge. I am totally mind blown. Thank you, Laura, because I was just going to shut it down because I neglected to click on the Defense Diaries actual page. I just clicked on the little post. Wow, holy moly. Five or six. Total fireworks today, guys. Now we know we got to January, right? We're talking about January. If that's not pushback. Amazing. Amazing. Yep, your little tiny hat. It is very tiny. Okay, so today was a good day and much reason to celebrate. And it's incredible. Incredible. Okay, so we will see you guys at a later time. Uh, please enjoy the music on the outro. Give me some clicks and likes and shares. Um, Melissa, we were celebrating the news that we got five to six confessions allegedly to the employees of the uh, prison. So the warden came on and says we have allegedly five to six confessions. And then there was a sidebar, which means we don't talk anymore about it. And we'll find out more. We will find out more. Huge reason to celebrate. All right, everyone. Enjoy the music on the way out. I'll see you later.